Story that we are following here coming in from Nepal. Nepal continues to face widespread unrest. There are protests that are taking place, large demonstrations being led by Generation Z. Now, they are showing no signs of slowing down. In response, in fact, the Nepali army has launched a major overnight crackdown across several cities. Sources are indicating that the army chief held a midnight meeting with Generation Z representatives to understand the demands and the concerns that they have. Talks are also expected to take place between the president, that is Ramachandra Paudel, and the protesters. The army is likely to mediate this conversation. Political uncertainty is also deepening. Two key figures are now coming to the fore. They are emerging as the possible contenders for prime ministership. Reportedly, we are now seeing how agitators also have freed certain people last week. Ministers rescued from mobs have now been moved into a secure army safe house. Location is disclosed because of security reasons. On the international front, Indian agencies are now saying that they are very closely monitoring all these developments. Exclusive inputs. They are now suggesting that there are concerns within India. There could be a potential anti-India sentiment which could be fueled through social media platforms. Now, this is something which India has already seen happening in Bangladesh. A repeat is possible in Nepal also. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, voiced anguish over the heart-rending violence and loss of young lives, stressing Nepal's peace and prosperity must be safeguarded.
राष्ट्रको सर्वोपरि हितको रक्षा गर्नु हामी सबैको साझा कर्तव्य हो। तसर्थ यस विषम परिस्थितिबाट राष्ट्रलाई शान्तिपूर्ण तवरले निकास दिनको लागि आन्दोलनरत समूहलाई आन्दोलनका कार्यक्रमहरू स्थगन गरी वार्ताको निमित्त आह्वान गर्दछौँ।
Crores of property has been destroyed, not only personal, even president's parental house has been burnt, I am told. Prime Minister's house has been burnt. I understand there was some attack on Devba's house also. All kind of things are there, which is being very violent. So I think the immediate future, the only option I see is that election schedule must be announced. As soon as the interim arrangement is put in place.
India Today brought you pictures from the streets of Nepal where the violence erupted and the Gen Z crowd took over the entire law and order of the Nepal and Kathmandu yesterday. We gave you pictures as to how violence happened on the streets of Nepal. We gave you pictures as to how every property that was a symbol of Nepali political class was set on fire, whether it be the private property or the traffic installations. And India Today is now giving you exclusive pictures from inside Nepal's parliament, which was set on fire by the Gen Z protesters yesterday. And we are getting you those exclusive visuals from inside the Nepal's parliament, inside the complex, inside the Nepal Parliament House, where the law was drafted and legislations were brought into effect. This is the main entrance of the main complex of the floor of the house, and from here the lawmakers used to come. The Prime Minister, the cabinet ministers would take same steps, but probably they forgot as to why they were brought here. This is the entire grand structure which has been now brought down by the Gen Z crowd, and it's the heat can be felt even 24 hours later. The pictures that we are bringing to you, you can see the pillar structures that have come down, crashing down because of the possibly blast. These are the iron structures which are shattered at this point in time, and from here where I'm standing I can feel intense heat coming from there. The reason being that even 24 hours later, what we see is that the flames are still coming out of the Parliament House, and this is the floor of the house. Remember, from where you can see the flames which are still ablaze inside the floor of the house of the Parliament building of the Parliament complex in Nepal.
My colleague Ashish Srivastava is now joining me from Nepalganj in Nepal. Ashish, we are seeing how widespread vandalism has taken place. Just a couple of minutes ago, our colleague Amit Bharadwaj, also in Nepal, showed us how the Parliament building is still burning.
Yeah, the same situation as you had seen, and our reporter and our colleague has shown you that the same situation in everywhere in Nepal. Yesterday, we have seen that the Gen Z protest when have erupted in that moment everywhere. Such kind of pictures could be seen, and now today also the people and the protesters are trying to come back their lives, and this is what the situation as the violence has occurred yesterday, and each and every building of the government building of Nepal have been destroyed by the protester. Even the municipal corporation office and the police checkpost, everything which was just destroyed by the Gen Z protester, and that's why this was the reason. But now today the conditions very something different, because the army has reached now in everywhere of Nepal, and they have taken position on all the checkposts and everywhere in Nepal. So it means that the army ruled going on, and that's a situation. And people who are trying to come back the situation, and as they were expecting that this protest was a very massive level, which was organized by the Genji, and that's why the situation has something different here. Today's no municipal corporation office and no other government office are open and no functional. It means that totally the army has taken charge, and this is what the people who are trying to get back for their works, and that's why they are just trying
Right.
to control the situation. And but the situation what would be, they do not know that, because what is going to be happen now
Right.
next 24 hours in Nepal, nobody knows that what going to be done now. Over to you.
Thank you, Ashish, giving us all those details. My colleague Ashish, in fact, is in Nepal. My colleague Rohit also has sent us certain details and certain inputs from Nepal. Take a look.
The situation on the ground in Birganj continues to remain tense. However, the Nepal army has now tried to take control of the situation on ground zero, and right now I am present at the Ghantaghar Chowk in Birganj, which has been the epicenter of past 2 days. The movement, the revolution that is going on in Kathmandu, its after effects has also been witnessed in Birganj. For the last 2 days, several parts of Birganj has been burning, and epicenter was the Ghantaghar Chowk, and you can see pictures here yesterday night, how, in fact yesterday afternoon, how this area was literally burning. Several vehicles were torched here, several buildings, the public buildings were also set on fire. So the protesters went on a vandalism, they went on a rampage. The entire city was in chaos yesterday, and following Prime Minister Oli's resignation, thereafter the situation went out of hand, and now what we are learning is that since last night, the Nepal army has been given instructions to take control of the situation, and that is why today we are seeing on ground zero, Birganj, that army personnel are present here in large numbers, especially in the Ghantaghar Chowk area, to ensure that peace and normalcy is returned in this area. And several army personnel you can see here, they are manning this entire area, not allowing anyone to move or crisscross this entire area, especially the protesters. And the situation in Kathmandu and various parts of Nepal, however, continues to remain tense, because there is no government here in Nepal at this point of time. And as far as Birganj is also concerned, there is some sort of a peace here in the town, in the heart of the town, in Ghantaghar area. But on the outskirts of Birganj, we are learning that still protesters are indulging in violence. With camera person Deepak Kumar, this is Rohit Singh on ground zero, Birganj in Nepal for India Today.